Please welcome Safra Catz.
How fantastic. We are here in real life. We are no longer little squares on screen. So first, thank you. Thank you for coming. It is great to be together. Oh, yay. Yay. Wow. And there's thousands and thousands of people, and saying hello to everyone online, because we've learned a lot during this pandemic. We have 1,200 sessions. We have at least 20 keynotes, and I want to thank our sponsors. However, we have all been through a lot together, haven't we? It is really an amazing time, because what we learned during COVID is that it is absolutely critical to have a digital connection with your employees, with your customers, with your suppliers, and with your partners. And we have learned that being bold is the way to win, that being timid could wipe you out. And today's keynote is all about you all, about all the things that you've been doing during the past few years, when we have all been locked in our homes. Some of you have been making sure we've got food, and others have been entertaining us with amazing capabilities, and others have been making toys for children. And you know, us at Oracle, we've been busy too. So though we were all supposed to meet together in 2019, we are here now, and we're going to share with you some of the things we've done. And of course, we're known for doing the really hard stuff together with you. We have built a platform that is the most performant, the most sustainable, and also the most cost efficient. And on top of that, we've built horizontal applications, and some of you are going to be on here with me today, sharing the difference that that has made. And on top of that, we've got applications that are focused in some of the industries in which so much digital technology is critical for survival and success. And then, of course, the database, the granddaddy of Oracle. So many of you committed for years and years, putting the crown jewels of your operation in the Oracle database, and now with autonomous database, bringing AI into the picture such that you have a more secure, more performant, more cost-efficient way to use the database. But I've got to tell you, our focus over the past few years has really been to listen more closely to you, to make a product and services that we can deploy multiple ways to make you successful. We understand now, it's not like the old days where we'd sell technology and you would have to put it together with your partners and implement it. Now, your success is absolutely central to everything we do. And we're all about this show is focused on your success. Now, let me tell you who's going to be joining me today. So I've got Jensen Huang from NVIDIA to talk about our enlarged partnership, both using their products and bringing their products to our cloud and having a truly AI-embedded future. And then Gordon McKenzie from Deutsche Bank, a group I personally work with, actually, and I'm only meeting now in real life. So yes, Gordon does have legs. I didn't know that. And then a walk down the bread and snack aisle. Grupo Bimbo, the CTO, Raul Obregón, he is going to share with you one of the most amazing end-to-end transformation that is global that they've been doing. I remember last time we met was in Mexico City, and they were embarking on this, and we've done this with them in partnership. And then, of course, Diane Schwarz from Johnson Controls that has changed their business from a product business to a truly digital experience with their customers that has given them a full array of changes. And then we're going to talk about Melissa and Doug, which is an amazing children's toys. And even though their toys actually have no screens, they're the kind of toys that you give children when you want to pull them away from all those screens. What you learn is that technology is absolutely critical for everything they do. And then finally, Oracle Red Bull Racing. You didn't think I was going to let Christian Horner be around here and not drag him on stage to talk about all of our favorite subject, winning. And we're going to talk about boldness and winning and using technology for that. So with that, as I mentioned, our first customer and partner to join me is Jensen Huang from NVIDIA, and I'm unbelievably excited to announce this renewed partnership and expanded capabilities that our cloud has. And with that, let me invite Jensen to join me on stage. Hey, buddy.
Hey, everybody. Wow, look at this crowd.
I know, isn't it incredible?
Look at all these people who came out to see you, Safra.
No, it's you. They heard you were going to be here. We're going to take our show on the road after this. So
well,
Jensen.
let's show them some of our kung fu. What an opening.
Right? Was that incredible?
Yeah.
So Jensen, it is so wonderful to have you here because we have folks here from basically every single industry. It's governments, telecommunications, retail, you name it. And all of them want to hear from you about what's possible for their business. How do they go about really harnessing this technology? And what do you see in the future for the incredible capabilities your products bring and we bring together?
Yeah, Safra, these are incredible times. On the one hand, we're seeing the slowdown of traditional compute scaling limited by physics. And this is making it more and more difficult for customers, all of us, to do our computing at an ever-decreasing cost and ever-decreasing energy consumption so that we can do more. That fundamental trend has been foundational to the computer industry for as long as we've been in it together. And this is happening at a time when energy cost is going up and we're all challenged by having to achieve net zero, and at a time when one of the most promising new applications or new workloads or new algorithm emerged, which is artificial intelligence. And so this time is really quite extraordinary. My belief is what's going to happen is that the writing is on the wall, the trends are clear, that all workloads, all of your workloads in the future will be accelerated. We've now accelerated about 5% probably of the many $1 trillion worth of workload in the world. And over the course of the next 10 years, I'm very confident that all of our workloads will be accelerated. And by doing so, we'll drive cost out of our workload, we'll drive better energy efficiency, and by doing so, we could give ourselves the capacity to go do more. And we'll use that capacity, that increased capacity, to apply it to one of the most important new applications, which is artificial intelligence. This ability for us to use data that you harness from your own daily businesses to find patterns in relationships and predict for you, automate for you, the way you work and the products and services that you deliver. This fundamental new capability is so profound, and in the last 10 years has made tremendous breakthroughs. And so I think that the next 10 years is going to be some of the most exciting times of our industry as we accelerate all of our workloads and as we automate everything we do from our businesses to the products we make.
Yes, we not only automate, but we actually embed artificial intelligence and machine learning into the applications.
That's
and
right.
This makes it unbelievably exciting. We are thrilled that you're bringing your AI solutions to OCI. So tell these folks, the benefits that that's going to bring to customers.
Well, the industries around the world need big things from our industry. And I would say that the first thing that you need from us is, as I was explaining earlier, to find a way to allow you to do more without having to spend so much more and without having to consume so much more energy. And so that's at the core of everything that we do. Well, in order to make that happen, there are 4 things I would say that the two of us uniquely bring. The first part, of course, is that data is at the center of the way that we develop software in the future, and Oracle's heritage and expertise in data storage, data provisioning, data processing is foundational. Second, NVIDIA's expertise in artificial intelligence and the processing and the creation of AI from data processing, machine learning, training, to the simulation of the AIs, to the deployment of the AIs is second. Third, you do need a large infrastructure. The fact of the matter is, in order to create these AIs, in order to train and develop these AIs and deploy these AIs, you need infrastructure. And that infrastructure has to be energy efficient, and so it has to be accelerated at its core. This is the reason why our partnership and OCI's giant investment in deploying large-scale accelerated computing from its cloud is so foundational, third. And then lastly, our rich ecosystem of partners and developers and the network of all of our great solution integrator partners, Deloitte, for example, and many others around the world, all of our partners and developers are going to be able to take this capability and these solutions and bring it to the world.
It's fantastic. I mean, it is such an exciting time. And you're right, it is very much, we've got to do more, we got to spend less money, spend less resources doing it. And the fact that there's low-cost computing available and huge amounts of data to train the algorithms, this is this moment we've all been dreaming about really for decades since we started to do AI work in the old system days. Now, one of the places where, as much as making shopping more efficient and routing trucks better and all those things are great, but really one of the most critical areas is saving lives. And so let's talk a little bit about healthcare and how you can use these technologies to really do the most important thing, save lives.
Yeah, our partnership, one of the industries, or the industries, healthcare and life sciences will benefit tremendously from accelerated computing, artificial intelligence, and the work of our partnership. You know, over the course of the last 10 years, as we've been deeply involved in advancing artificial intelligence, some really amazing achievements have been made. You know, the breakthroughs in computer vision has made it possible for transportation to be completely, utterly revolutionized. And in the future, in 10 years' time, the automotive industry is no longer going to be a car industry, a classical industry, but a tech industry. And all of those cars are going to they're going to discover their smartphone moment, and their business will be transformed. Of course, we're seeing this all over the place. We're seeing giant breakthroughs in natural language understanding and speech AI and conversational AI, and this breakthrough in large language models that is able to encode human knowledge so incredibly into a model that you can then apply to all kinds of new skills that it was never trained to do. Well, these breakthroughs have led to some giant new opportunities, and what I believe will be the digital biology revolution. The coming together of life sciences and biology and computer science will transform what was historically a science-driven industry. In the future, science plus engineering-driven industry. You're going to see incredible advances. And so if I could just say one more thing that you mentioned earlier, the work that we do together, NVIDIA has a platform called Clara. It is our work of passion of a computational platform for life sciences and healthcare. It's been integrated into the Broad Institute's Terra biomedical research platform. It's used by researchers all over the world. And one of the things that is really amazing, because of AI, we can now use AI to understand the language of proteins and chemicals, all the way through gene sequencing, all the way through the ability to do virtual screening by teaching an AI computational or quantum chemistry. It is absolutely amazing the breakthroughs that are happening right now, and I think our collaboration is going to be able to bring that to all of the healthcare researchers and companies all over the world.
With that, thank you. Thank you for what you're doing. Thank you for partnering with us so fabulously, and what a joy. Look at this guy. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Safra.
Thank you. Thank you for everything we do. Isn't it amazing? Isn't it unbelievably exciting what is happening and what is possible? I'm now going to share with you another one of my customers, as I mentioned, that I met during this whole COVID period, and it's Deutsche Bank, one of the great banks of the world, and they've partnered with us to solve some of the big challenges and are modernizing their massive database infrastructure that is running their mission-critical systems and services. Please join me in inviting Gordon McKenzie, CTO of Deutsche Bank.
Hey.
So great, so great, so great. Come. Boy, what a challenging time we've all been through. As executives, we've gotten to see absolutely everything compressed. Gordon, can you share with us, with all of us, and some of your banking competitors are out there, by the way, share with us some of the biggest challenges you're facing and how you're handling them?
Well, look, Safra, I think, I would say our challenges are kind of threefold. So firstly, I think, demand for technology increases all the time in banking. We have, the demand, our customer services more and more require us to use sort of data to drive richer and richer engagement with customers. That obviously drives demand for compute, demand for processing. If you think about what we've just come out of, right? We've had COVID. Think about what happened during COVID. Much less cash transactions, a lot more going digital, so that drives volume. We're obviously also, as we discussed a little earlier, in a period of sort of sustained, very volatile markets. Again, that drives volume. And for us as well, our risk management is getting more and more sophisticated, which again drives the demand for compute, storage, database. The level of processing we have to just continues to increase. Adding on to that, the kind of second aspect of that challenge is we're not starting from scratch. No. Now, for us, cloud is a big part of our enabler to meet that demand, but we're not starting on a greenfield site. We're a global bank with a very long history. And we have been building a lot of technology for the last couple of decades, much of it with Oracle, but a very diverse estate of technology that we have. And so we have to kind of be able to meet that demand while kind of modernizing in a stable way the existing technology that we have. So that stability for us is key, but we have a complex environment to work in. And I think the final thing I'd say is, it's a difficult and complicated regulatory environment that we operate in. We're some of the most heavily regulated industry in the world, probably. And that's getting more complicated too. So if you like, we're having to deliver this increasing demand. We're building on top of like a very large existing estate that we have to modernize simultaneously. And kind of finally, we've got regulatory regimes across the world that are diverging in some respects. More and more demands in terms of data sovereignty. Obviously, it's a big something we discuss a lot. And so I think the three challenges are increasing demand, the need to modernize what we already have, and doing that in a way that keeps us stable while also addressing a very kind of rapidly evolving regulatory environment.
It's so true. And for us, the way we've built out Exadata Cloud at Customer and OCI gives so many different capabilities because it can be at your site, it can be just in your country, or it can be global. And this different level, I think, is a kind of flexibility that's very, very helpful. I think also, going off of what Jensen was just talking about data. I mean, we've all been creating so much data over the past few decades, and it's been probably not being used as effectively. Share with us what you're doing to transform the position of the bank using data in this incredibly evolving market.
Yeah, look, I think a huge amount of the innovation that's happening in banking today is data-driven. In fact, I think you could argue nearly all of it is somehow data-enabled. So whether that is us building kind of contextual banking solutions, which mean that we can deliver our services to customers, whether they're retail customers or commercial customers, exactly at the point they need them in a whole variety of different contexts. That's all driven by a much better understanding of your own data. I think we've done some quite exciting things around, using the kind of Internet of Things to enable different ways of financing. Again, though, you think about the data that's being generated in that context is enormous, right? And bringing that together with kind of banking and financing techniques is hugely important. And I think, those kind of value-add services that customers now demand, how do you drive a richer interaction with your banking customer or even your retail customer? Well, to do that properly, you really need to use their data to try and drive that effectively. And I think, again, I'll come back to the similar theme though, there's a lot of innovation for us to do. Of course, we have a huge amount of data that we manage today. We've been in this game for a long time, as I said. We have an awful lot of data to manage. There's a lot of, it's very critical that we do that in a way. Looking after our customer data is critical. Right? That's, I think, something in banking that we've been used to from the very beginning of banking, right? That customer data and customer protecting that data is hugely, hugely important. So on top of the innovation that we're doing, it's vitally important that we secure, the core product, right? And the core of what we do, which is our customers expect us to be able to have systems that are always available, that are highly performant, and where their data is completely safe. And so I think that is absolutely at the heart.
It's interesting because as we've lived through this pandemic, we've realized that sometimes people think that moving quickly is risky. But what we've really seen is that moving slowly is dangerous. And yet banking operates in this highly regulated, risk-averse place where risk is, in fact, focused on with full committees of the board, and yet innovation can sometimes get slowed down because of it. Can you kind of share with us your perspective on how you handle this risk, innovation, sometimes what people view as a conflict?
Look, and I think we don't really see that as a conflict necessarily. Like, I think innovation happens in our services, but we also innovate in terms of how our security posture all the time. Now, there's no doubt that we've had to get more sophisticated in the posture that we adopt around security. So really, the challenge for all banks, I think, is we absolutely have to enable that innovation. We're competing against a very broad set of competitors now, the traditional banks, of course, but fintechs, technology companies. And so it's important that we do innovate, but we think if we innovate in the right way, we can actually become more secure. And certainly that's one thing we're very focused on with Oracle as well, is how do we innovate in a way that continues to kind of, deliver the kind of rock solid security posture that kind of our reputation is built on, right? It's so core to a bank's, success and a bank's identity.
See, I'm a complete believer in this. I think innovation it may be scary, but it's not actually risky. People confuse the two, and sometimes you need real boldness, and that's what gets you through. Maybe you could share with us sort of how you pretty boldly scaled your mission-critical systems over the past couple of years.
Yeah, look, as you know, we've done a very large deal with yourselves for Oracle Cloud at Customer. We're actually migrating our entire Oracle estate to Cloud at Customer, which we think gives us huge advantages, right? There's a very significant cost advantage. There's a huge maintainability advantage. We think the flexibility it gives us is huge. Being very candid, do I think you guys can run an Oracle estate more effectively than we can? I think you definitely can, and what I'm really pleased is the way that our teams are working together to jointly continue to innovate and to continue to develop. Right? You talk about security. We have a very tight relationship around how we do that, and I think we're already starting to see the fruits of that. It's taken us forward in many dimensions simultaneously, I think.
Yeah, I think this is an unbelievably exciting time. I thank you, Gordon. I know when you all took what might have been thought of as a risk with us, we built an unbelievable partnership, and I want to thank you for joining us here today.
No worries. Thank you very much for having me.
My pleasure. Thank you. Thank you, Gordon. Yeah, we're covering everything. We've got some technology, we've got some money, and now we're going to talk about snacks. Okay, where many of you probably don't realize that every time you go by the bread aisle or the snack aisle, you are in fact buying from Grupo Bimbo that makes the most luscious things, pretty much what my children grew up on. And so we're going to share a total, large, global transformation that we've been doing in partnership. And I want to welcome Raul Obregón, Chief Technology Officer and a Chief Transformation Officer and CIO of Grupo Bimbo. It's great. It's fantastic.
It's great to be here, Safra.
Yes.
Thank you.
It is so fun. We were talking, last time we'd been together was in Mexico City. You could almost not get me out of there, all my favorite stuff. And he's promised me a visit to a bakery next time I come. So that could be pretty dangerous. But everyone here knows the world is moving faster and there are more challenges, whether it's, listen, what have we been through? Supply chain, now we've got inflation, all of those things. Maybe you could share with us some of the things that you're doing to deal with just these challenges?
Well, first of all, Safra, let me say thank you. Thank you for having us, and thank you for being in person, as you mentioned, not on a box square. And I would say that on behalf of our 138,000 associates, it's an honor and a privilege to be this morning with you guys. So, challenges, what can I say? I guess that anyone here on the audience has immense challenges. What have been our challenges? Well, what can we say? Energy, commodities, labor shortages, talent attrition, and we could go on and on. But what have we done? I think that we've stayed the course. And why do I say we've stayed the course? This December we will be 77 years old, and I would say that even since from our inception, we've had maybe 3 constant pillars. One is a relentless pursuit of growth. Second is to invest in brands. We're a company of brands. Some of you here in the US might know Thomas's, Entenmann's, Sara Lee. If you're further abroad, Bimbo, or even Takis now, it's one of our core brands. And we've been a company that we've invested more or less more than 60% of our profits every year back to the business to invest in technology, to invest in CapEx, and to invest in acquisitions. So that pursuit of growth has helped us in these times, but also I would say starting, and let me use the word starting, to leverage data, insights, and above all, we've been, I would say, intelligently pushing revenue growth management categories, channel, countries, and so we've been able to navigate so far successfully. So that's a thought.
It's very important. I mean, the truth is that even in downturns, there are incredible opportunities, especially for those folks who have been, as I said, bold early on, decided to do this enormous transformation. And, you know, tell us first of all, though, how you decided to take that step, and then what's in store for this next year and the year after.
Well, first of all, I think that for the audience, we've been an Oracle partner for the last maybe 21, 22 years. Maybe someone will correct me later. So that partnership has been about challenging ourselves, about harnessing learnings, about asking, and I would say, and I always tell Luis Meisler this, that we have a positive tension that keeps us going, right? You ask, we give, we ask, you give, and so we keep on improving. And with that in mind, maybe 6, 7 years ago, when we chartered our digital journey, we took 2 decisions. One was to be a cloud-first company, and the other one to leverage all the data that we have. So the ERP fusion up with you guys, it's been a journey. We've, I would say, masked it as an upgrade. Actually, it isn't. It's been a very hard job of many. This year we're in 33 countries, so by year's end we'll be about 70% done. But I think that the real challenge is the next step. It's about leveraging all the Oracle technology that we've deployed and actually seeing the end-to-end value chain that we have. For the audience, we operate 206 bakeries worldwide. We have a 55,000 distribution network that serves, give or take, 3 million points of sales every week. So for us, all that data and all that visibility will surely push us to be even more efficient, to have, you know, fresher products. And what we want to say is nutritious and baked and nutritious goods in the hands of all. So what's for 2025? 23, it's finish up and then leverage everything that we've done.
And do more, yeah. I mean, there's nothing more important in the world than food security and making sure that people have food around the world, and that what you've done already has been incredible. However, I know that you're not even done. I mean, how does sustainability factor into your growth?
Well, I guess that sustainability, I would not say that's part of our DNA, but it's been part of our strategy maybe over the last 10 years. We've been pushing hard for sustainability, and I can share, if I may, I'll share a story with the audience. In a small outfit that we have in Mexico, with our own technology, we developed our own electric vehicles. That was a small, pilot, a test lab. Well, from that entity, we've deployed 1,300 electric vehicles made by a baker, as I would say the OEMs weren't ready for us. So that's part of our sustainability job. And I would say that maybe by year's end, Safra, we would be maybe 95 or 95 plus of all our energy in our bakeries would move from renewable sources. And our commitment is basically to be what we're calling sustainability by design as we move forward.
That's fantastic. That is incredible. And, joining that with our cloud, which is the most sustainable, we get 2 for the price of 1 on this. So it's incredibly exciting. So I want all of you, next time you go through the bread line, you should have the joy that I have every single time, because I think about Bimbo, Grupo Bimbo, and what a wonderful partnership we have really built together. I thank you. One of the challenges for a company like us is to make sure we're not focused on ourselves, but focused on you. And I hope that you have felt that in our partnership.
I would say so, Safra. Maybe over the last 24, 30 months, we've seen a closer approach, a challenge, I would say a very respectful but challenging relationship, and answers and feedback. And I think that has kept us moving. And I believe that the asks that we put in front of Oracle, I think it's for the benefit of the product that we're leveraging, and surely more will. And I think it's about enabling the learnings and harnessing the opportunities that the future brings. And that's what we're in this journey. And we want to get over it and then move on. But yes, it's been a journey.
It just makes me so happy, and I want to thank you. I want to thank you for partnering with us, and I want to thank you for sharing the journey with everyone here, because I hope they're learning about the incredible possibilities. And for you, even in downturns, the strong have opportunities. So this could be an entirely exciting time for you all. So thank you.
Thank you, Safra.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Safra.
So next, actually, this is so fun for me, you have no idea, so bear with me. So next, we're actually going to be meeting with an executive from Johnson Controls, who has overseen a change from a very, very famous product company to how they've leveraged Oracle end-to-end to transform themselves to a truly digital enterprise and a digital connection with their customers. So with that, let me introduce Diane Schwarz, CIO of Johnson Controls.
Good morning.
Oh, so great to see you. This is so fun. I'll tell you, it's interesting because we have a lot of manufacturers out there, and I think some of them are going to be hanging on every word you say, because they're trying to figure out how do they become a digital enterprise. Maybe you could share the transformation journey you have taken Johnson Controls through over the past couple of years.
And it's interesting when you talk about a manufacturing enterprise, that's no longer how I or we identify. So Johnson Controls, if you aren't aware of our brand, 100,000 employees, 140 countries, and we make building solutions, heating, cooling, fire, security. Historically, we manufactured, sold, installed, and serviced our products. But now we're a digital solutions provider, really managing the entire building experience. So our transformation journey is outside in and inside out. So the outside in is about the digital marketplace, the digital solutions that we have been developing. And oh, by the way, our CTO is speaking tomorrow, I think with your Chief Sustainability Officer, so little plug there.
That's right.
But as our customers have the digital experience of how they manage buildings using our products, I then own the digital to the core, inside out transformation experience. So we're a complex company. We grew through acquisitions over the years, so we have lines of business and locations with disparate processes all over the world. And so it's a matter of taking that complexity and making it simple using our standard technologies, reducing tech debt, increasing digital acumen of all of our employees and users, and then creating an authentic experience for our customers to our employees from the digital to the marketplace down to digital to the core.
How do you make that even happen? I mean, how do you do an end-to-end? What do you use? What are you thinking about? How do you solve for that? Because it is a true transformation.
So it's not for the faint of heart, but it's ultimately simple because we have our strategic direction. We have chosen our core technology platforms, always cloud first, and we're not the first ones to have done this. So by using proven templates, by putting in the same standardized processes for accounting, for manufacturing, for shipping, for warehousing, then it's just a matter of the change management and the execution. So it's staying true, focusing on our solutions, not getting distracted by shiny objects, which was hard not to do when I went through the Grand Canal shops and getting here. Don't get distracted by the shiny objects. Stick to your core. Focus, execute, deploy. Focus, execute, deploy. You'll eventually get there.
See, I love transformations. I was originally brought to Oracle to do transformations. However, I have incredible faith in the technology, but sometimes the sociology, as you said, it is daunting. It is not for the faint of heart. If you could give advice to many of the executives who are out here who are thinking, should I go now or should I wait till later? What kind of advice can you give them?
Well, Johnson Controls is a 137-year-old company. We should stop counting, just like I no longer count. We want to make sure we're here another 100 years. If we haven't already started, we're too late, and we will be disrupted by not only the competition we know about, the competition we don't know about. So the journey does take a little while. If you haven't started, you're already too late, and now it's in a race to catch up.
So basically, no more white papers. The time to start is now. And here you're seeing an incredible success story. And I very much appreciate your sharing, because these periods, again, I think we've learned a lot. Moving slowly, very dangerous. Used to sound like the safe bet. Moving quickly, moving boldly, and changing the environment immediately. It's absolutely critical, and I thank you. I hope you've also felt our focus on you and your success in working with our teams.
I have. I guess I'd add two more pieces of advice to that, which is about working with your teams. One, always tie it to your business strategy. So every presentation that I do at work ties to the Johnson Controls business strategy, which has the digital strategy baked into it. But the second piece is, don't do it alone. I was only a few weeks into the job. I joined 2 years ago during the pandemic, when I started to phone a friend and said, this is a complex undertaking with the way our business has grown. I need help. So working with my executive sponsor, Steve Miranda, working with my executive sponsors at our various partners, I needed strong governance, strong leadership. I work that ecosystem every day. So I'll leave you with a paraphrase of an African proverb. She who goes alone goes fast. She who goes together goes further.
There you go. Great advice, fabulous. Thank you for joining us here. Truly phenomenal advice. What a joy. Thank you so much. Thank you. Hope you guys are taking notes, listening to this, because this is really resonating. It reminds me of our own transformation. Well, now we're going to move to something very different. As I mentioned, Melissa and Doug is one of the most, really, it's the kind of toys that we want our children and grandchildren playing with. This is no screens. It's the type of things where you really need creativity. And with that, I not only have one, but two executives. I have the CIO, Mike Macrie, who we've known for a while, and Lee Tsukroff. So welcome, come join me. Let's talk about toys. That's right. Hey, Lee.
Good morning,
Fantastic.
Safra.
Hey, Mike. Always great to see you. Fantastic. I promised you toys, right? So the toys you make, Lee, are really to inspire creativity, screen-free. So someone would think you don't have technology. Technology's not important. But that's not right, is it?
No, and you mentioned this morning as well in your opening intro and just now, our products are screen-free, but we do believe in technology. You know, as a company that looks to provide open-ended, real play, imaginative toys, you know, we want our teams focused on the toys, not the back office or the side office, and we've done a great job in terms of transitioning ourselves into a more professionalized back-end operator so we can focus more on our products.
I'll tell you, it's really interesting because ultimately, to have a great product, whether it's beautiful toys or otherwise, you really do need a very strong innovation engine and technology capabilities to stay competitive in this incredibly competitive market. Please share with me, Mike, how do you have technology to help your whole innovation roadmap to get things done?
Yeah, so when we had to make the decision on whether our next investment in ERP, we had to look at a number of elements. But because we were performing in a period of hyper growth, we looked at things like NetSuite. We looked at where we wanted to go, and together we decided that we wanted to leapfrog the competition. And with all the investment that Oracle's made, we felt that the Oracle Cloud Fusion ERP platform was best for where we wanted to be. And the investments you made really have reduced the risks. And what that allows us to do, allows us to take every dollar that we save in the back office and reinvest it in the children you see on the screen and in the toys that we produce for them, in the most sustainable, efficient way possible. And that's really the core values of our company. And so Oracle helps us do that and helps us focus on that innovation, which is core.
It's interesting what you're saying. I'm having deja vu from my days when I started at Oracle, because I really wanted to release resources from our back office. I needed to release those resources so we could spend them on innovation, on R&D, and that is ultimately why people pick things. Having better products and services is why you're so popular. Having better products and services is why we're still here after all these years, bigger than ever. Maybe you could both share with us a little bit about the partnership that we've had and how it's made a difference in the business.
No, for sure. And the partnership with Oracle is just getting going, about 18 months into it. And to add to what Mike said around why we chose, if I think about, we are the #1 toy brand, wooden toy brand with sustainability in preschool, and we think about what Oracle's doing in the world of ESG and sustainability, which was another reason why we looked for a provider like that. In terms of what we've seen in the day-to-day business right now, we continue to have a lot of energy in the back office for getting the teams involved and getting the training and everything needed to get the organization going.
And Mike, listen, this is not your first rodeo. So you have brought enterprises through really many changes just like this, which is why you're perfect at this. If you were to give advice to some of the thousands and thousands of people in here, what kind of advice would you give them when they're just trying to decide, should I go or should I stay, or what should I pick?
I would say that, with all the investment in the cloud that's out there, with all the investment you're making in your systems integrators and your partners, it's never been an easier time to reduce that technical risk, take the risk on Oracle's bigger products, and give yourself, options on how you're going to move it forward. But the key part in any of these transformations are still the people, right? And that's not changed. But every ounce of effort you don't have to put into the technology, you can now put into helping your business become better, helping your people become better, and helping your entire company, focus on whatever their core values or purpose is.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you have the greatest mission. Your mission is to make children happy. I mean, this is so ideal, and sometimes you think about all the work that goes into designing your products, getting it all the way through, and yet ultimately the biggest payoff is seeing happy children, being incredibly successful, and competing. I'm going to ask you a question you're probably not quite ready for, Lee, which is, how do you see the next year or so with the different challenges and possibilities in the business?
We think about our future is bright, and we think about in the volatile markets, the ability for us to move more quickly and create value is really, really important to us. And we are just on our journey. We have a lot of Fusion apps that will be coming in the next 18 to 24 months. And I think about Oracle and the integration across the business. Safra is really going to help us move much more quickly to help focus on toys rather than the back or side office.
Absolutely. And then Mike, one last question for you. When you're trying to decide how quickly to go through one of these transformations, what are the factors in your head, and how do you make that final recommendation to we're going for it?
So you always want to go as fast as possible, right? Because that's going to reduce your time to value. It's going to reduce your cost that you're spending with your partners. But I believe that every organization has a change speed limit, and you have to really fill out the culture, work with the executive team, work with your partners in the executive office on how ready are we, how willing are we, how fast can we push the organization, and how ready are they to embrace the change that's necessary to make it to the next level of performance. And different organizations are different. I've worked in big organizations, I've now worked in small organizations, and you have to stay in tune with your company culture to figure out what makes most sense for your company.
I think that is unbelievably great advice. I want to thank you both. I want to thank you for being at CloudWorld. I want to thank you for partnering with us. As you can tell, you are one of the favorite customers.
Toys are fun.
Toys are fun. Toys are fun. So thank you so much for joining me. And
that's great. Thank you, Safra. And as our top technology provider,
we have a little gift for you.
We have a little gift for you. So we're hoping that this small little product can bring some joy to your day in, day out.
Oh my gosh, all of you guys, some of our favorite things. Oh my gosh,
thank you, Safra.
This is fantastic. I love it. This is so, thank you. This so fun. It's funny because I always tell people that one of the things about Oracle, I love being at Oracle. I'm in my 23rd, 24th year, whatever. But one of the drawbacks of Oracle for me is that we don't make anything we can give you for Christmas or Hanukkah or anything. There's never, no one wants Java in their stocking, The Oracle database under the tree or near the Hanukkah menorah, no one wants that. I tried it a few years. The kids went, no, that's not a gift, Mom. But luckily, we have customers that do incredibly fun things like toys, like you just saw. And So as I said, I walk down that broad aisle, I go through a Johnson, a building, I know Johnson Controls in it. With toys, I say, haha, we are making that possible. And now we're gonna talk about something I know you're all seeing and watching on Netflix and all that. Let's hear from one of our key sports partners that's doing the one thing we love about Oracle, and that is we love winning. So let's have Christian Horner from Oracle Red Bull Racing come on up here. Everyone wants to talk about cars.
How are you?
Oh my God, what a tremendous, tremendous year you are having. We call it the Oracle effect, for any of you wondering. It's really, since we met in 2019 and we have our partnership together, I'm taking full credit right here in this. Okay, no. It's this guy and his incredible, incredible team. Share with these folks, because we're going to have a little bit of fun, share with us some of the key areas of success you've had on the track.
Well, first of all, it's fantastic to be here. It's my first time in Vegas, so I haven't seen a lot so far. I didn't have a tiger in the room either this morning, so... As Safra said, we met a few years ago. We convinced Oracle to come in as a partner, and as soon as we put the logo on the car, we started winning. And so then we put a really big logo on the car this year, and we've done a whole lot of winning. But it's been a fantastic partnership, and the technology that you're affording us, it's touching all parts of our business. We're getting closer to our fans. We're understanding who our fans are through all the engagement. We're using it as a race strategy tool to help me look smart on the pit wall to make the right decisions. Of course, as we've taken on a brand new challenge of building and designing our own engine, we're using all of Oracle's cloud technology, which has enabled us to design and manufacture an engine in a 12-month period. So we're really pushing the boundaries, and it's been a great partnership so far.
I am so intrigued by this bold move to design your own engine. And this is really important milestone for you all, because for all of us, I suppose. The reality is, one of the things I've been thinking about a lot, and I think as I keep touching back to what we've learned in the pandemic, is that really boldness does win the game. Being different, not following what everybody else is doing. You just can't get out of the pack doing what everybody else is doing. You ultimately need to, you're preparing for the next few years when you'll have your own engine. And I think, I wonder your thoughts of, your thoughts on how you came to that conclusion versus doing what everybody else does, and give us a little update on where you are today.
Yeah, we had a partnership with Honda, and Honda have been in and out of Formula One over the years. And during the pandemic, they decided that they were going to withdraw from Formula One at the end of 2021, which was spectacularly bad timing on their part, because it was just as we were getting winning. But it forced us to consider what our options are, and our choices were either we become a customer of, nobody wanted us as a customer. We're not a very good customer in that respect, because we're very demanding and we want to win. So Mercedes wouldn't supply us. Ferrari were not particularly keen to supply us, but I think would have. And Renault, again, there wasn't a whole bunch of enthusiasm there. So we then faced a choice of, do we take control of our own destiny? And as Lewis Hamilton said, we're just a subsidiary of an energy drinks company to take on Mercedes-Benz, Ferrari, all these other automotives. And we just attacked it with the same vigor. And it was, of course, a huge risk strategy to say, let's go and get a group of people together, get the right technology, create the right facilities, and why can't we make an engine? Why can't we do what we've done on the chassis side, with the engine? And so we've recruited the talent, we've got the infrastructure, and most importantly, the tools. And the speed that we operate at is so fast. And that's where the cloud technology has really enabled us not to have to wait for a data center to be on site or anything like that. It has enabled us from a clean sheet of paper within a 12-month period to have an engine up and running. And so for 2026, when that engine will fire up and run out on a circuit, probably here in Las Vegas,
right?
It's a really exciting prospect, and one that you've got to take yourself out of the comfort zone. And we've done it on the chassis side, and we think, okay, why can't we do it on the engine?
I think you can. And we're so thrilled to be partners in this. And I think, you made this incredibly important point, which is being able to just get up and running quickly without having to rent a data center, get computers, start the software. The existence of the cloud and of our really truly powerful and cost-efficient cloud allows you to get up and running so quickly that you can really do what I think some probably thought was impossible. And I guess, what do they say? The impossible just takes a little longer. And this is an amazing time. For us, it's really important and wonderful to be working with you in partnership. But then there are the fans.
Yeah.
And you have some die-hard fans. Share with us some of the things you're doing to ignite that passion. And I mean, they all feel like they're on Team Oracle Red Bull all the time.
Yeah, well, I mean, Formula One is going through a fantastic period at the moment. There was a show that some of you might have heard of called Drive to Survive, which took Formula One to a new spectrum. When I arrived at the airport yesterday, the guy arrived not recognized me and not my wife, which usually it's the other way around. But that show has taken the sport to the masses, and it's engaged the US, which is fantastic. But of course, we want to know who our fan base is. We want to interact with our fans. We want to collect that data to understand, to provide a better service, to have more interaction, with our fan group. And I mean, Austin this weekend, we're set to have 500,000 people turn up for that race. And, there's
the team.
Super.
And we'll be cheering you on.
And of course, it's growing and growing in the US. We're coming back here this time next year.
I know.
And we're going to be racing in Vegas, which is fantastic. So, and of course, as that fan base grows, we want to make sure that we're providing as a team the best interaction and the best interface with the people, because without the fans, it doesn't exist.
No, it's true. And really, ultimately, it's about doing things differently. Doing things, being really embedded in this entire relationship. And I mean, I feel that we're so aligned philosophically. I'll tell you, Oracle is never happy when we're not number one. We even call that silver medal the first loser. So I can tell you, your winning is making us so excited. And I will tell you, we're taking at least a little bit of the credit. So thank you so much for working with us and winning.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And good luck. Okay, well, it's got a busy, it's next week in Austin, right? So it's very exciting, and I think many of you might have driven by the F1 site for Las Vegas for next year. So it's going to be very, very exciting. Well, today we've heard a lot of real life stories, and what you need to understand is that's why we do it. We want to make you all successful, and we've got a number of things coming this week. As many of you know, Larry's coming by this afternoon to talk about end-to-end automation and multi-cloud. And then Clay tomorrow on everything that's new in OCI. And then Steve tomorrow afternoon, what's new for our applications. And with that, thank you and enjoy the show. Thank you.